this has Broncos fans fired up. A new report has come out talking about the Broncos, their place in the NFL, and what the NFL landscape thinks of them after their performance in week 1 against the Titans, particularly their defense, which made quite the statement this week to the NFL that this team will be reckoned with, or it should not be reckoned with. But I am Sebastian with Broncos Digest. We're really excited to talk about this, guys, because I mean, come on, it's the Broncos defense. I mean, we haven't been this excited about our defense probably since the 2015 year, where that team. I mean, that defense was one of the most stacked of all time, and now it's like we're trying to bring those days back a little bit. Maybe less so the offensive part of that team, but hey, if you win a Super Bowl, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter really how you do it. It's just getting that trophy and that ring. But overall, this defense is already making waves and noises in the league. They had a sensational performance on Sunday, which we have to talk about because people are really, really making some big statements about them, and just it's already taking over the NFL media. But overall, Zach Stevens reported that the Broncos officially have the number 1 defense in the NFL after week 1. Denver only gave up 133 net yards to the Titans. Now, sure, a bit of a blanketed statement in terms of just, okay, they have the number 1 defense in yardage, but overall, that's a lot of what, counts for a defense and their performance. They also gave up no touchdowns and bailed the offense out of quite a lot of different situations, including some special teams mess ups. So they've just really been doing a great job, and just, it gives the team a lot of confidence that, not that they can just have keep making more mistakes, but that when they're in a pinch, they will be able to bailed out during those moments, because these guys were just rock solid. This is a graph here that shows how often NFL offenses convert on a series of downs, and the Titans way at the bottom. It's like the graph looks relatively normal with all the other NFL teams. I know it's very small here in the picture, but at the very bottom of this graph is the Titans, where their bar compared to everyone else, it's not even comparable. Their offense just had a train wreck of a day trying to go up against this Broncos defense. No, not many people were surprised by this, but there is quite this discrepancy between this and everybody else's performances. Even like the Dolphins and Colts game, Dolphins had more success on offense than the Titans did. So that goes to show kind of how great they were on Sunday. And then, here that the Broncos posted a really nice graphic of just how well they did in general. Forced fumbles, they had 2. QB hits, they had 12. 0 touchdowns allowed and 6 sacks. I mean, come on. It's an awesome thing. And the interceptions will come, no doubt. But, the pass rush is ferocious. They only have to rush for Benito, like Singleton, everyone on each stage of the defense, Hufanga. They were all just really living up to expectations, maybe even exceeding them in a lot of situations, which I'm just really excited about. And then John Franklin Myers had to say, the standard is the standard. It's just kind of how we play. We do things one way. We just need an opportunity, and we had an opportunity today. That's what we expect of ourselves, just another opportunity. Each and every week we want to do that. That's the goal ultimately. Now, it might sound like a lot of just like typical Broncos jargon,
Blocked by Slavin.
I think overall it's they're focused on being consistent. That's really what the main message of that quote was, is that they think that this performance isn't an outlier. This is just them doing what they do. This is who we are and what we expect of ourselves. It's not just going to be, it's going to be their identity. It is their identity already. They're known as the best defense. They're the top pick defense in fantasy. Not that fantasy really matters that much, but it goes to show that the respect that the NFL community has for them, like the fans and all the pundits are like really scared of the Broncos because of this defense. The offense is young and developing. We're finding new talent and bringing guys in like Evan Ingram, drafting guys like RJ Harvery and Pat Bryant. But they need time to develop, just like a Troy Franklin, who's looking to take a big step this season. A lot of those guys, though, are question marks for this season. And especially after the performance the offense put on against the Titans, it wasn't exactly encouraging by any means, which means we're going to have to rely on the defense while this offense figures out who they are and how they, mesh with the other side of the ball. And the special teams, cleaning up some of their messes where it's like letting, a long kick return happen at the end of the first half, or the muffed punt like by Marvin Mims. You have to like kind of make sure that those mistakes aren't happening, so we're not constantly putting our defense in bad situations when we're facing harder teams that are going to be happening down the road. And now we have the Colts coming up this weekend, and obviously the expectations are that the Broncos will win that game, but it's not a guarantee because, the Broncos struggled with the Titans, who aren't exactly world breakers by any means. And it's just a matter of what will this defense be able to do against the Colts, who had a fantastic day against the Dolphins. The Dolphins, although are a train wreck in a lot of ways, it's not like, the Dolphins are, it's similar to the Titans. Not a great test for the Colts. So I think both the Broncos and Colts, when they're facing each other, it's going to be a very bizarre game because I think both teams don't really know how they're going to operate in a more normal game situation. Whereas Colts completely shutting out the Dolphins for most of the game, where, yeah, that's a fantastic performance, but the Dolphins looked like they were imploding from the start. Whereas the Titans, they were in it for a good bit of the game. It was a one-score game for most of it, and hats off to them for really, trying really hard, but, their coach is on the hot seat already, and, they're really just trying to figure out what Ward can do with the limited amount of resources he has around him with that team. So with the Broncos, we have much higher expectations than, playing a close one with that. And there are pundits out there who are questioning the Broncos after that performance because it's listen, the defense can do all it can, but if the offense can't score, it's especially in this era of football, you're going to make it very hard to win playoff games. Now, it's, we have to get to the playoffs and all that good stuff, but the Peyton Manning 2015 team, I don't think is a good litmus test. That was a special team because it was a special defense. And I'm not saying this defense can't be special. They have a lot of special players. And clearly, they do not care what situation they're in. Their goal is to not let the other team score. And all they did was let them score field goals, which is pretty cool. But at the same time, you can't put them in bad situations every single week. Eventually, the dam will break and it'll be, much harder on the team to win games. So, but the offense knows this. They know that they have to hold their end of the bargain and eventually start scoring, whether it's going to be through the run game or Bo Nix developing more with, reading the field a bit better, planting his feet, all that good stuff. The defense will be there. The Jahdae Barron is now just an extra piece of the secondary puzzle that is just awesome depth with the corners. Hufanga was just a remarkable pickup. Dre Greenlaw wasn't even playing. We really... This defense isn't even at full strength yet. We don't know if we'll be seeing him this upcoming week or if that's maybe for week 3. Sean Payton has hinted that it's going to be soon. So it's just a matter of crossing your fingers, but also wanting to come in as healthy as possible because we want Dre to be here for most of the season. We don't want him to be in and out of the defense. Although without him, we definitely perform pretty well. But again, the Titans, you have to know what the competition is. That's just the case. And but overall, I'm not too worried or concerned. And then Alex Singleton had to say, it just shows the maturity of our team. In years past, we've had high-paid guys and guys defensively that you think you're going to be good, and guys would do too much or go out of their way. Today, we really saw everybody play in their role. When we were dealt a bad hand on a drive, we were able to come together and know it's our job to push them out, and we were able to do that. I think he's specifically talking about the moment where the Broncos pushed the Titans out of field goal range after the muffed punt. They got the ball. It was on the 20 or 25 yard line and got several sacks in a row that pushed them out where they had to punt the ball instead of kicking a field goal. We gave them automatic points and then the defense didn't even allow that. I just thought it was very impressive and really reassuring. At the same time, as a security blanket, you don't want it to always rely on those heroics from the defense. You want to be able to have complementary football with the offense really helping out the defense, letting them get some rest and not going 3 and out as much or really struggling with turnovers and field position battles. So, I mean, it kind of felt like a preseason game in a weird way. Just a lot of mistakes, very sloppy in terms of penalties, especially on the offensive side. But this defense, the statistics that we showed and just how people are thinking and talking about the defense, there's so much to be excited about. I mean, Nick Bonito just got extended. Zach Allen got extended. There's a lot of extensions going on right now. And, the new signings with Dre and Hufanga. And it's a great time to be a Broncos fan. It's a really exciting time. They announced the new stadium yesterday, which we won't get till 2031, but it's something to look forward to. A retractable roof, hosting the Super Bowl, hopefully at some point. And so just a lot of good things happening for Denver right now. And, another win on Sunday against the Colts will only be adding more to that security blanket for the Broncos, because the schedule doesn't get easier after that. That is for sure. We know with the Chargers, the Chiefs, all that good stuff. So it'll be interesting. I have full confidence still, but I want to ask it you guys, and I want to bring it back to you guys. How do you feel about the Denver defense? Can we rely on them more than I've been talking about? Can we, use their strength and turn it into, our identity instead of trying to bring it back to complementary football? Or do you think this offense is really going to significantly hinder this team? Let me know in the comments below, because I really want to hear everyone's thoughts on this and how excited you are about the game against the Colts, how much of a test that will be for the Broncos going into like the harder games afterwards. So yeah, sound down below, subscribe, make sure you're doing all that stuff. Hopefully in the future we'll be hitting like 100, 500, 1,000 subscribers, so we can end up doing, live streams of games with all the Broncos fans and join that Bronco community. We're building something here, and we will see you in the next video.